Hey everyone, another great day in the metaverse world. Today we're going to cover, we're actually going to use a chat GPT and we're going to ask it some questions. Definitely going to address the elephant in the room on the metaverse, AI, and what is the best foot forward when you are getting involved with metaverse applications. So I took some time to type on ChatGPT just to ask these questions. These are burning questions, and I think these are all the questions that people have in the back of their minds about the metaverse. So I want to clear up some misconceptions. Just because I am in this industry, I do understand um, the way people think about the metaverse, right? So first and foremost, there's a stigma about it, right? How are you an expert on the metaverse when the metaverse really hasn't even been developed yet? And that's the first thing I ask people when they're giving all their points about the metaverse, why they're not going to do it, right? And if you're a person that's pushing dead bears up trees, stop doing that, because we need to go back to the basics of what the metaverse is all about and how we can purpose it, right? If you don't have a purpose for the metaverse, then yes, then everything that you've heard will be that. But if you have found a purpose to use the metaverse, then we got to clear up those misconceptions and all those myths that are out there. Okay. Me personally, I believe this is going to be the next social media outlet. I think this is how people will want to be represented online. I think people are tired of doing video conferencing, even though that seems to be the easiest way to communicate over the internet. But this is the thing, it just comes down to education. Everyone that you speak to about the metaverse, they're just not educated enough on it to really understand how they can use it. So it's our job as a leader in this industry to help people understand, where to start. Because this is the thing, when someone finds value in something, in what you're doing, what they're going to do is they're going to give you all the smiles and give you some FaceTime. But the thing is, they're going to go do their due diligence to see if it's something that's going to work for them, because they have to eliminate that limiting belief about them doing it themselves, right? So, but what we need to do as educators and leaders in this industry is give them the right information. If we're not giving them the right information, then that's going to create the dead bear up the tree. uh, Anyways, I like using that as an analogy. I know people are exhausted trying to figure out how to do business online. Some people have figured it out. Some people might have an automated Amazon account that makes them thousands of dollars every month, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe millions, right? Well, the thing is that business is always changing. It's always upgrading. It's always changing the algorithm. But with the metaverse, you are the contribution. When you bring yourself, the extension of yourself into the metaverse, it's a digital representation of yourself of the real world, right? So if you don't think the metaverse is going to help you in what you're doing, then you have to actually go back and check yourself out first. Is it what you're doing making a difference to other people? Does it have an impact? So hopefully, with this overview and asking the AI some of these questions, we can actually go through these and actually think about it. So this is definitely going to be a longer presentation, because I do want to take the time to go through what the AI has presented here. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. The first question I asked was, what metaverse solutions make the most money? Because for some reason, people want to make money. I understand that's how you make your living, that's how you put food on the table. But when you're totally money induced, it clouds your mind on the right decisions, right? It's not about making a quick buck, buck. It's not about making money, all the money up front right away. It's actually the solutions that you're providing that actually, help the, I guess I keep hearing this, pain points, right? I gotta say this, people that lead off was like, you got pain, I'm gonna fix it for you. I tell you what, those are the people I steer away from right away, because they're trying to push the pain on you right away, make you feel it, so that way you listen up more. Well, this is the thing. I'm gonna focus on the right things, and if you do the right thing, money will follow. Right? I'm not going to come out and tell you, well, you got problems, you got pains, you got all this stuff. I'm not going to establish that, because you know what? That's all in your mind. Until it physically happens to you, everything that you put in your mind is not a physical pain to someone else. It's in your mind, you're thinking that way, and you're hoping that other people will get on your wavelength. I say stop that right now. Stop telling people that they got all this pain. What you need to say is like, hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever looked at this solution? Have you ever considered? Let them make the option to decide on whether your solution will help them or not. But don't go to someone and say like, hey, I understand your pain. I know, I feel the same, and da da da. You know what? That way of selling people on telling them that they have to have your product to fix their pain is over. People are tired of that. I mean, all the way up, I'm not going to get political on anybody, but all the way up to our politics, from Democrat to Republican, they all have pain. They all tell everybody how each other is hurting each other, right? Well, we got to stop that. We got to lead with value. We got to shine on value. We got to show them, if you make certain decisions at a certain time and you follow them because it's been tried and true, if you know where I'm going with that, right? So if you haven't done it, how are you going to tell someone else how to do it when you haven't done it yourself? So that's basically my point. So when you say all these pain points, throw that out the window, and let's focus on what we know is going to fix the problems, not lead with the problem saying, hey, this is your problem and I'm going to fix it for you. I think people are overwhelmed with that. The narrative has to change. So I'm going to use ChatGPT as the pain point. Okay, let's use ChatGPT as creating the pain that we're going to fix. Okay, but the thing is, ChatGPT is going to be the solutions as well. It's going to tell you how to fix them. Okay, so it's up to you whether you believe it or not. It's up to you whether you think you're limited or not. It's up to you for you to take action with it. So I'm hoping this will excite you, impress you, and get your attention that I'm not going to start off with a pain point. I'm actually just going to start off with a question and see what the AI comes up with. So let's go and get started. That's a long introduction. Appreciate your time. It is almost 8 minutes for me to explain that, but I just want to tell everybody that I'm here to shine on value and not come out and say you have a problem and that I'm going to fix it for you. Okay, because only you can fix your problems, but it's for you to take the action in. Okay, so at the very top, I just asked the question, what metaverse solutions make the most money? And the first one, it says virtual real estate and land sales. Now, in the very beginning of all this has been around for a while. I know people have been buying and selling land inside Second Life for probably 20 plus years. And some people have made multi-millions doing it on a virtual platform. This is not in real world real estate. This is virtual real estate, meaning it doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination watching colors and sounds on a computer screen. That's what you're investing into. Now, is there value in that? Some people would say no. Some people, it doesn't exist. Why would you want to put your money in something that doesn't exist? But this is a thing. If it helps you to rewire the way you think because you're seeing it in a digital format, and then you're able to apply that to the real world, then it has value. Imagine all those people that got money fast up front, right? Like maybe, athletes and artists, rock stars and all of it. They make their money fast, right? And then they go create a lifestyle that they have to keep having that income in order to live it, right? You think if they would have maybe jumped into the digital world and, put their mind into that first to actually see how that would actually apply to them in real life, if they would have, trained themselves, they'd probably kept their wealth, right? So it's like you see online, some of these big actors made hundreds of millions of dollars and then they're broke because they had people mismanaging their assets. This is where the metaverse would help them think about all the things they need to be thinking about and virtually being there versus having it in real life happening to them right now. They could practice what it takes to be a multimillionaire and to manage their financial assets with being in the metaverse. So the next one is NFT marketplace and digital assets. Folks, I'm going to tell you this right now. NFTs will be the new shopping cart in the future. It's how all merchandise will be transacted because it needs to have some sort of paper trail, right? So all assets will be put on the blockchain, which will be in a form of an NFT. Not going to get into the NFTs and explain the details of it, but an NFT is a non-fungible token. And once you mint it, it is on the blockchain forever. And I had a question where, whoa, what happens if all the power goes out? Again, it's on the blockchain. It's there for good. It's burnt into the hard drive of the blockchain. Now, who has the supercomputer that collects all this data? It's every single computer on the blockchain has access to that data. So NFTs will be part of our global society. It's just a matter of learning how it works, adopting the technology, and actually purposing it for, for recording assets, right? Just the way I explain it to people, I said, imagine having like a Dropbox with a username and password where you put all your digital files in, but if you want to gain access to it, or if you want to give access to it, someone has to buy it with a token to get access. So it's like getting access to your files, but they have to pay for it. That's my best annihilation. My best thought of an NFT and how it's purpose. So think of you buying your files, but they're secured where it's like encrypted. Like you're talking like Department of Defense encrypted. Okay, so gaming and play to earn P2E models. So this is like you're using the metaverse as a gameplay, which a lot of people do that. I mean, if you go back, I remember when I was in the Army, when I'd go in the day room and I'd see all these soldiers playing Halo, and they all had like headphones on. They're talking in the mics. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Are you talking to people in the game? They said, yeah, dude, this is what makes this game so crazy, is that you can actually be talking inside the game. That was, when that happened, that was the first time that we actually brought the metaverse to a whole nother level, that you could actually communicate by voice inside the game, talk to another person. I gotta tell you, that's why I'm here. Because when I saw that, I was just like, that technology is going to be huge, and it already is. The gaming industry has figured this out. You have been paying the gaming industry all this money, and now We're here with this technology to use it for good. So I'm not here to shoot zombies and rank high in, the best, gamer inside the game. I'm using this technology to be fit for purpose, to where people that, are stuck at home or are far remote away or just trying to find a job. I'm looking for ways that we can help those that are looking for an alternate way to make money. So metaverse advertising and branding, we know the big box stores are already paying huge amounts of money to market themselves inside these spaces. So if you are a creator, Nike's looking for you. Coca-Cola's looking for you. Gucci's looking for you. If you can get someone's attention with this technology, they're looking for you. Virtual events and concerts. That the platform, this avatar right here, is perfect for that. For doing virtual events and concerts. Okay? This platform, you can design your avatar however you want. You can dress your avatar however you want. You can talk in world. You can portal to different worlds. You can build worlds. You can literally, whatever's in your mind, you can do in here. And I always say this, the only two things you can't do in the metaverse is eat real food in the metaverse, which technically you can. You just got to make the food and then go upstairs and make yourself a sandwich. And if you want to eat a sandwich in real life, you can eat the sandwich in the real world too and make it feel like you're actually tasting it. Totally up to you, but I won't go that far. And the other one is making babies. You can get up to that point, but you are not going to make a baby in the metaverse. You have to actually be in the physical world to make a baby. Now, you could probably make a digital baby and code it and everything like that, but that's just going too far. And maybe your baby you make, you program as an AI, so that way it has its own personality. So maybe I'll rethink that. You could probably make an AI baby inside the metaverse. AI-powered metaverse services. Just talking about that right now. So I say AI is kind of a, not that it's a niche, but it's where everybody's attention is right now. But I gotta say this, once the AI avatars are fully developed, you're going to be in the metaverse. Because that's how you're going to experience the AI avatar. In a 3-dimension. I mean, you can do it right now. I'm just showing you a 2-dimension. You're looking at a flat screen, but imagine yourself totally immersed talking to the AI, and it's so natural that you can't tell that's an AI. That is going to happen in the metaverse. Metaverse, e-commerce, digital fashion. I know there's a whole bunch of more topics that can support, the metaverse. But what I can say is e-commerce is going to be huge. A lot of people say this is going to be the second economy. And I think this economy will grow a lot faster than our real economy because it's going to be digital. Imagine you build mansions in the metaverse and you're selling them for, say, 5,000 plus, right? Because you got to think back. Remember when people were paying 5,000 for a starter website? Well, the metaverse is going to be the same thing. People aren't going to build your metaverse for a couple pennies. It's going to be their time, their expertise, their code, their intellect that they're putting into your metaverse application. So just know that the metaverse is here to stay. It is a technology that is still brand new to the whole world. And it's still less than 1%. You know what? I'm not going to say, but I'm going to say we might be over 1% now with adoption to the metaverse. Just because I know that Meta and all those other platforms have been selling a lot of VR headsets. And all I can say is that once everybody understands that the headset is going to be the new computer, and a lot of people think that, glasses will be how people experience. I think so too. But at the same time, I think having the metaverse on all devices is how people are going to experience the metaverse. Some people might be on smartphones. Some people might be on PC or Mac. Some people might be on a tablet. Some people might be in a virtual reality headset. And that's how they do their day, is they're always in a VR headset because it's their new monitor to their PC. It's their new way to make phone calls. It's their new way to experience the digital space. And this is the thing. I don't know if you know this, but being stuck in this square is kind of irritating, and it's annoying to your brain because your brain doesn't like the four corners of the screen. You don't realize it, but it is frustrating you. You're not understanding the feeling that you get. The way we want to interact with people is in the 3D world. We want to be able to go up to you and shake your hand, high five you, and talk to you like you're in our presence. This is why a lot of businesses are having a hard time, is because they don't understand the virtual presence of themselves. Zuckerberg had a good point where he said that the next iteration of the internet is going to be virtual presence, which this is it right here. This is, but how far do you want to go to connect yourself into this digital world, and how far do you want to be stuck into this space? For me, I want to figure out how to be more effective and efficient so I can crunch a work week into a couple days versus have to deal with the everyday life in a whole week. I mean, imagine if you could actually say you take Monday and Tuesday, you do all your work Monday and Tuesday because you're able to connect with everybody you need to connect with, and then the other 5 days that you have in a week, you get to go figure out something else to do. Maybe start a new business, maybe go work another job, maybe start a new side hustle, right? But if you're working in the dead-end job that's taking you 7 days of a week and you don't have any time for yourself to even think, then we need to rethink that. That is a pain point, right? And I'm just going to say we could probably fix that if you will take the time to learn this technology. So going back up to the top, what metaverse solutions make the most money? Here they are. This is coming from an AI, which I think it has the data to actually tell you that this is actually a fact. But I would say you don't take my word for it. You have to actually try it for yourself, because I think everybody will get a different experience from the metaverse. Okay. So that was my question I asked. I did ask it another question. I said, just because we need to keep track of our data, I asked it, what CRMs are needed in building this business, right? How do you track your progress? How do you track your prospects and who you're talking to about the metaverse? Because we can make a lot of videos and blast on social media and hope that 3 seconds of people swiping through will land on your video to get their attention to say, hey, I'm interested in this. But then where do you take it from there? How do you bring people, how do you herd people into the fence? How do you bring if you're going to be the shepherd, how are you getting all the sheep into your pasture to where you can get their attention? Well, you're going to have a CRM. And here we go. Why you need a CRM for your metaverse business. Okay, so first and foremost, it's a lead management and sales automation. If someone clicks on your video, it should send them into like a drip campaign to where they keep getting little tidbits of information to actually nudge them to making a decision, versus you just trying to put them in a headlock and say, buy this now. Right? So you want to nurture your potential buyers. And how you nurture them is start talking about virtual real estate. Start talking about how NFTs will help them in their marketplace. Start start talking about, how you can start building your community and offer a membership. So the next one is customer support and community engagement. I got to tell you this. Once you build the worlds out and you have everything in there that's needed to run your business, your application will become your customer support. And people will be engaged if people are using your application. It just takes one other person to be in the world with you, talking to you. That is engagement. Okay. Now, I've been in worlds where there's been hundreds of people in the space, and it's just like you can't even have a conversation. I found that it gets overwhelming when you get up to over 25 people inside of a space, because you got to think all those 25 people want to have a conversation, right? Well, they all can talk at the same time, but if they're all talking at the same time on the same microphone and everybody can hear them, that's going to be a bad conversation, because you're not going to be able to hear what they're saying. It's just going to be a bunch of static, right? So the thing about the metaverse is it has spatial audio in there, where when you walk close up to a person, they're going to hear your volume louder. When you walk away from them, just like in the real world, the audio dissipates. It actually starts getting softer and softer, where you can't even hear the person, but they're still in the world with you, creating that virtual presence. But if you want to go talk to them, you can either text chat them or go right up to them, turn your microphone on and say, "Hey, hi, nice to meet you." So event and subscription management, that's important, because if you're going to be doing scheduled events, you want to make sure you have a system like can, track, handle the ticket sales, and do the splits where needed to pay who needs to get paid. So say you sell a bunch of tickets because you got the Tony Robinsons of the world going to be coming in and giving everybody some value, right? Well, they're not going to come in for free. They're going to want to get paid. So you got to figure a way to pay your VIP speakers, or maybe it's an artist. Maybe you got a Drake, or maybe you got, some big famous artists that's going to come into the metaverse for 1 hour, and you got to pay them up front in order for them to perform. You got to have some sort of system to pay for that. And I'm just going to say the attorneys are going to be asking for it. So be prepared. NFT and marketplace user analytics. I think people want to see that your NFT token has value. So you're going to want to introduce all your token holders, to your community and say, "Hey, so-and-so bought one of our tokens for a virtual build out, and you give them time to talk to everybody else and how they're using their virtual space. You're going to need some sort of tool to keep track of all that. Multi-channel communications to one omni-channel strategy. I got to say, to try to manage, say you get 1,000 people inside your world, it's going to be difficult to try to manage each individual person to do the right thing. So you have to have a way to communicate with them. And I always say use Discord, because Discord is like I call Discord the one dimension of the metaverse, because it's basically a glorified phone call. It's a voice IP phone call, but the thing is you can share your screen, so it's great for doing classes and training, because everybody can see each other's screen in there. I'm sure there's other software out there, but I gotta say Discord is the best platform to actually train people on the metaverse, because you can share your screen, they can share their screen with you, and you can make sure you're on the same page. Data-driven decision making, following the trends and where people are going. That's very helpful, because you want to be able to show that it is a fact. So you got to be able to show the data. And I got to say, VCs are going to be looking for that. If you don't have a way to track your data, they're not going to be interested in giving you any money. So you got to have a system in place. And tell you what, I think my next video I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to track all that and get an investor excited about investing in you as a builder or a creator for their money. Okay, so I'll actually do a specific video just on that, how to show your data, how to track it, how to make people excited that, you know, your metaverse platform is going to set you apart from everybody else. So hold my feet to the fire on that, okay? Say, hey, where's that video that you said you're going to do about data-driven, you know, platforms and stuff? And I'll say, I'm going to show you. I'll walk you through step by step what that looks like, okay? All right, so best CRMs for Metaverse business. You can look at HubSpot, Salesforce, Zoho, Pipedrive, or Bittrex24. I gotta say, I've used HubSpot before, and it seems pretty easy to use. But you know, you can only get so far with it before they make you pay a subscription, which I think most of them are that way. But it's really understanding how to use the software first, and I think they do a good job with that. I think all platforms do a good job with showing you how to use it. So before you go spend a bunch of money, go learn the platform before you invest into it. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to get to the excuses. What excuses will people have when adopting the metaverse? Folks, I've heard it all. That's all I'm going to say. I've heard it all. And like I said in the very beginning, if you find yourself pushing dead bears up trees, stop doing that. And this is why. Okay? So the first thing I think most people will say is they just have a lack of understanding of it. Therefore, they're not going to make a decision. A confused mind will always say no. So it's up to us to educate them and show them. And I think it's more by demonstration. Like even this, you know, me talking to you through this avatar, you know, is somewhat demonstrating the metaverse and its power and its capabilities. But really, what I should be doing is just virtually showing you, like physically showing you what it looks like, what I'm talking about. But that's going to take time for me to propagate all that data to show you. But I want to show you. And the thing is, I need you to ask the questions about it. If you ask the questions, then it'll help me, you know, get everything together to show you. Now, this is a thing, I call that the milk run. Because anybody can give a presentation, but can you actually do it, right? Does it actually work? So these are some of the questions that people have when adopting the metaverse. So I don't see the point in it. Of course you're not going to see the point because you haven't tried it. And I'm just going to say this. Everybody will get an aha moment with being in the metaverse when you actually try it. Okay, it took me 2 weeks, and I'll tell you my aha moment. Okay, so I was in this application that has this avatar that I'm talking through right now. And the first thing that came to me, I was like, wow, games are getting really, you know, technical these days. And this was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was looking at this saying, wow, this is going to be big. And how I got that aha moment is I actually met someone from the UK inside the platform, and I thought they were just a game piece or an NPC, they call it, where I thought was just a digital robot or AI, whatever you want to call it, right? And I was just like, man, this sounds like a real person. And the person says, I am a real person, numbnuts. I was just like, oh my gosh. I can't believe that. And then all of a sudden the movie Ready Player One came out. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is getting ready to get really hot, right? But I think the movie kind of stubbed everybody on like, well, I don't want to be in no headset all my life, and I don't want to live in 20-foot containers stacked in a slum town. So that kind of discouraged people. But you know what, folks? Those are the big box stores saying let them get in first before you jump in. Because if you jump in first and become the big box store, then what does that do to them? They now have competition. That is a fact. Most likely this video is probably going to get shut down because I'm revealing a lot of information about what all those big box stores are doing behind the scenes. And we're letting them do it. So hopefully this video will empower you to get into it and learn it. And this is a thing, I am more than happy to bring anybody underneath my wings to learn this technology up to where I know it. Right now, you might be able to surpass me in this because you might have more knowledge than me in certain aspects of technology, which I'm hoping that you'll come to the table and be part of our team if that's the case. Because we want to grow our communities together and thrive together in this space. So the next one is, it's too expensive. How many times have you heard that in anything? Any business is too expensive because they're just trying to get your price down. So it's all about shining on value. Once they see that you get foot traffic into your space, once they see that they buy from you inside your space, once they see that they learn something from you in your space, once they see that you are creating a whole nother lifestyle in your space, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be too expensive? No. They're going to be throwing their credit cards at you saying, how do I get involved? How do I get in this space? How do I get to do what you're doing? And they'll pay for it because they understand the value of it. But if they don't understand the value, they're going to say it's too expensive. This application right here, with the AI platform that I'm using, it's multi-millions just to see this happening right here. But we take this for granted because we're on the internet every single day. We see more enough digital content that we don't realize what it takes to create this content, what it takes to make this content, of value. This is hundreds of millions of dollars just right here, just in this avatar talking, the animation on the face, the AI that's giving me, answers to my questions. This is hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And people will take this for granted. They'll say, this is too expensive. Isn't that crazy? Next thing is they think it's just a niche or a trend. I may say this. Once people understand the metaverse and how to navigate this, they'll understand blockchain, they'll understand NFTs, they'll understand cryptocurrencies, they'll understand all the new Web3 technologies out in the market. So is this just a trend? No, it's starting of a new lifestyle. It's too complicated. Tech barriers, right? Well, that's why I'm here. I'm here to hold my hand. Here, let me just wave my hand. Let me wave my hand here. I think I can. Watch this. There, I just waved my hand to you. In the very beginning, yes, it will be overwhelming. It will be a lot of information. But if you take the time, and I'm willing to roll the red carpet out for you, I really am. But it still takes you to actually learn it. Yes, you're going to have struggles with trying to figure out how to wear or use the VR headset. Don't need to use a VR headset if you don't want. Yes, it will take time to learn how to open up a crypto wallet and move cryptocurrency. Yes, it will take time. And it will take time to onboard people into the metaverse platforms. Yes, that's why I'm here. I'm wanting to be your guide. I'm wanting to hold my hand out to you. And I'm offering you an invitation right now to join me and let me be your guide in the metaverse. If you're willing to accept, I'm willing to accept. And I may tell you this, I will not disappoint. So with it being too complicated, you have a somewhat of a metaverse connoisseur here that is excited about teaching people about the metaverse. Those are the type of people you want to find. You want to eliminate a pain problem? Go find someone that knows how to do metaverse applications and ask them if they would help you navigate through the metaverse and get set up. I guarantee you they would be they'll bend over backwards for you if you ask the question or if you ask them for their help. I gotta say this: when I first started, when I was in the platform, yeah, they didn't come out and just give me the whole "this is how you do it" and just click this button, it's all done. They actually walked me through and say, "This is why you need to click this. This is why this happens like this. This is why." And that's how I learned from being in this platform to going to Unreal Engine to going to Unity, using Blender. Those are all the applications that will bring you into the metaverse. But let me tell you this, you want an all well-rounded application that does chat, voice, synchronization of the avatars with some AI analytics that will help drive it, so that way your computer's not burning up its graphics card. Not going to get into all that, but I can explain that separately on another video of how to build worlds that don't burn up your equipment, right? Because there's been many people have built worlds inside the metaverse and they're like, man, I just burnt out my motherboard on my PC. Well, that's because you had too many draw calls. And we'll leave it at that, okay? All right. Next one is, there's no one there. No, there are people there. They're just on private servers because they don't want you there bothering them. They're there. They're just synchronized on another server, running around, having a good time, and most likely they're probably paying for it too. Therefore, they're not on the free server. But when you get on the free server, of course, it's going to look dead. It's going to be, nobody's going to be there because nobody wants to be on a free server, because that's like an open public thing, and people don't like to be harassed inside their worlds. So I have my private servers. I have a membership. I use NFTs to allow people to get into my space because I want to know who they are, what their intent is, and why they're there. Because it's my world. And you can have your world too. And you can have your way you want to think and your thought process and everything inside your world, which will be on a private server. But it comes down to, what values do you offer? What ethics do you have? I mean, we could go down the whole 9 yards. I mean, I could turn this into how you're going to join the military of ethics. But that is the truth. I'm not going to allow anybody to take my information and stream it across the internet and make me look like a fool. I'm going to keep my information inside my world, and what I say specifically to my thought process inside my world. If I want to have pink elephants jumping over the moon, then I can have pink elephants jumping over the moon. I'm able to do that inside my world. And you're able to do anything you want in your world within reason. And all I'm going to say is not to take this in a pessimistic attitude, but it really is the mind. The mind is the limit on what you can do inside the space. But going back to, there's no one in the world, concerns about adoptions, all I can say is the hardest thing for you to do is become a master of invite. If you don't invite anybody, of course nobody's going to be in your world. And why would they come to your world if they don't know about it? So you got to tell them about your world. You got to tell people what you're doing in your world. You got to show them your world, demonstrate your world. Show that other people come into your world. Show them that you invite people into your world. Show them that you use your world for a purpose. They're out there. People are looking for this, but you have to become that master of invite. How do you invite? Do you tell them everything about your world and all the details, the features and benefits, and just fire hose them with all this information? It's up to you, but I tell you what, the best thing to do is just ask them, say, you know what? I'm going to give you the master of invite right now. This is my master of invite. Hi, nice to meet you. I have an event coming up on this date at this time, and I really appreciate your opinion. So I'd like you to, come join me and give me some feedback on my metaverse space. And if you don't mind, could you invite 3 people to this and tell them to invite 3 people? I know you have a smartphone. I know you have a contact list. I know there's at least 3 people on your phone right now that you could call right now and say, I would like to invite you to a metaverse overview. And it's all about you and your opinions and what I've built. That's the best master invite that I can say for the metaverse. But if you tell them everything about your metaverse, what it does, da 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 da, they're going to say, I don't need that. I'm not interested. That seems like a lot of work. That seems like a lot of things I got to do, right? Send them your Zoom link. Okay, you got to use a Zoom. It's going to be difficult. If you send them the link just to get in the metaverse, it might be too much for them. So you might need to show them how to get into the metaverse before you just send them your metaverse links, right? So I always start in a conversation on like a LinkedIn Live, or I do a Zoom, an invited Zoom specific to a certain topic. I'll bring experts on the Zoom so that they can talk specific to, certain questions that people might have. But that's how I invite people to my Zooms. I ask them that it's about them, and I don't tell them the details of what it's about. I just say it's about them and their feedback, and that you would appreciate them to give you some feedback after seeing your presentation, right? Security and privacy issues. Again, most likely you'll have to probably pay into getting your own private servers. But I may say this, you are still online, so you have to be compliant with how you do business online. But what I can say is using NFTs, guest listing, all that great stuff, and actually vetting out the people that are going to join your platform is probably the best way, I think, for security and privacy issues. Kind of like lay down the rules before you get everybody in the sandbox running around. Kind of like give them like, hey, don't use profanity here. Don't talk politics. Don't, try to push your religion onto other people. Let the world that you build do that. So if you're into politics, if you're a Republican, then put your Republican candidates in there and put the pictures on the wall. If you're a Democrat, then put your Democrat pictures on the wall. But don't tell people that they have to go be a Democrat or Republican. Let them decide what they think is best for them. I'm just giving you a broad example, but yeah, it's like if you want to talk about issues, try not to make issues inside your world. Keep it so neutral to where it's like they're going on a vacation and they're at the Bahamas sitting Mai Tais and putting their toes in the sand. That's the way you want to make your spaces. Make it where, people feel like they're on vacation. Don't make it like it's work. People would say, man, every time I come to this platform, I got to pay all this money and, da da da. I got to own this land and da da da. Yeah, I am kind of like giving you the do's and don'ts right up front. But ultimately, if you are going to be a builder and you are going to build a metaverse platform for businesses to make money, at some point in time, they got to pay you for your services, right? So don't devalue yourself on it. Don't give away the farm. Be adamant about what you do. Enforce your will onto them and just say, this is the way I work. Don't let them get you for free, okay? And I got a lot of great ways that you can offer your services that will be beneficial for both parties, okay? I'd rather interact with the real world. You know what? I want to interact with the real world every single day, and I do. But this is the thing. The metaverse is all about practicing to make the right decisions in the real world. So imagine, I'll just use an example. Imagine I want to go open up a restaurant. Do you think I may jump headfirst into it? Which I did before. That's why I'm here, because I don't want people jumping headfirst in a restaurant and losing their shirt on their back. I want people to learn all the do's and don'ts in the restaurant. I want people to learn all the places where you can have waste and fraud and abuse. You can practice that in the metaverse, and that way when you get ready to open up that real world restaurant, you're prepared. I almost want to drop the mic right now. Let me see if I can get a microphone and drop it. Here we go. Let me find a microphone. So, oh, here's a microphone. Okay. Let me grab the microphone. Let me show you that I got the microphone. Watch this. Watch this. Let me drop the microphone. I just dropped it. Mic drop. All right. Let's see what else. Let's speed this up. We're already almost at the hour here. So we're at 49 minutes. So VR makes me sick. Yes. People, do not go out and buy a VR headset to jump in the metaverse, jumping around, jumping over buildings and running around. You will throw up instantly. You know why? Because your brain is not ready for it. Your brain has been trained by you walking on your own 2 feet, moving your hands and limbs and stuff around this real world at that level. When you get into the metaverse and your body sees that you are now like a superhuman and you like a Superman and you start running around, you will get sick. So these are some remedies, okay, just because we're talking about it. I actually spoke to one of the cognitive scientists over at Oculus before Zuckerberg bought them out, and this is what they said. Your brain has fluids, and when you move in real life, those fluids move in your brain. Therefore, your brain says, okay, this body is moving at a normal pace. But when you start moving fast, when you start swinging, visuals in front of your eyes super fast, then your brain says, well, the fluids aren't moving along with that. Therefore, it sends the fight or flight to your stomach and say something's wrong here. It's your primal instinct that you have as a animal, as a human species, or a mammal, I should say, that your brain was developed a certain way to keep you alive. So when you start getting nausea inside the VR headset, you got to lift the headset off. Now, these are some things you can do to eliminate motion sickness inside the VR headset. One, you can get like a wristband that actually sends like electronic pulse to your wrist that keeps your, I'm not sure how that works, but all I know is it has to do something with your pulse. And a lot of people don't, for some reason, when they get into a space that they never seen before, they tend to hold their breath. Therefore, you're having a lack of oxygen to your brain. Therefore, you're going to get the signals to your stomach saying something's not right. So first thing you do is breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth when you're in the VR headset, just like if you're going to go exercise, because your brain has to get used to the flow and how you're moving inside there. Because you can technically get a brain workout if you go running in the metaverse. Your brain will feel like it worked out, but your body would be like, oh, it might send some triggers to some of your muscles saying, oh, I just worked this muscle, but you're really working your brain that's sending the signals to your muscles. To eliminate sickness, be careful with running around the world so fast. I would just go into the metaverse and stand in one space. Don't move around, just look around for the first couple, sessions that you have, just to get used to that, okay? Because your brain has to get used to the motion inside that VR headset. Now, if you have a intermittent internet or your computer's having a hard time pushing that, you might get lag in your VR headset. Therefore, it's going to create dizziness, okay? The other thing is when you're making turns left and right, shut your eyes inside your VR headset so it's not giving you that spin right away. Or squint your eyes in a way where you don't see everything all at one time very detailed. Because you got to think, the VR headset is different than the natural light of the real world. It's actually putting light into your eyes, and your eyes are like seeing like everything. That's why when you're moving around, you get a little nausea, because if you look at the real world, your peripheral vision kind of like clouds a little bit. It has like a little gray or dark space around it. That's what a lot of companies are doing inside the space when you're walking around to try to eliminate that. But really it comes down to you just developing your brain and training your brain to see the world another way. And that takes time. And I got to say this, I can handle over 20 minutes now, but I can't handle over an hour. because the light of the lens kind of dries my eye. I'm I'm staring more inside the VR headset than I am in the real world. I'm not flickering my eyes or shutting my eyes as much as I should, because I'm just amazed. My body's just like, when you're amazed, you keep your eyes open longer. So anyways, not to go, I think I'm boring you now on all that. We can get into the science of that. I can do a video just specifically on VR headsets and not, how to handle the being nauseated inside there. The next one is, I don't trust crypto and Web3. And all I can say is, yes, there's been many scams out there. So you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence, and you understand, what is a reputable, wallet to use. I use MetaMask, haven't had any issues with that, and I use nothing but Ethereum when I'm moving my money around. ERC. I forgot ERC. I forgot the number on it. But anyways, that's what I use inside my MetaMask wallet to mint all my NFTs, to, pay people to do certain services. It's really easy to use, but it's still a learning curve, right? So don't get discouraged. I say this, consistency over time will equal trust. The more you use it, the more you know, the more you're, involved with it, the more trust you're going to build with it. So, but yeah, there is scams out there. And I always say, don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. I say that for a reason. That is my disclaimer, because I want you to go learn it too, not just taking it from my words, but take it from other people's words too, and then take it from your own word. Is crypto right for you? I don't have time. All I can say to that is, if you get up in the morning and your business is mostly online, and you've turned your computer on at your home and you're doing your emails and whatever you do there digitally, and then you shut your computer off, get in a car, drive down the road, clock in at a 9-to-5 job, and do the same exact thing, tell me why you don't have time. It's just how you're managing your time. So the metaverse could actually scale your business 10 times fold if you know how to purpose it. Now, I'm just going to speak to that. I remember one time I was in 3 meetings at the same time, but not one person felt like I wasn't in that meeting listening to them, because I was able to click the application when I want to speak in that application and speak to them live on the camera. And I'd say, hey, that's great, da da da. I would be in 3 different conversations. Tell you what, it felt like I was in a crowded room talking, but the thing is, I was able to listen to all the conversations. I was training my brain to decipher who was talking, what they're talking about, and how to react to them when I needed to react to them. I was into 3 calls, 3 meetings, talking to 3 different groups at the same time. Now, I'm not saying that's for you to do, or I'd wish that on anybody, but I can do that. I'm able to do that. Now, is that being efficient and effective? Could be. Am I creating ADD or ADHD? Could be. But the thing is nobody thought like I was neglecting them. Nobody thought I wasn't being present. Nobody thought I wasn't being responding to them. So how to overcome these excuses? I took the long way around explaining it, but here's 3 explanations that the AI said. One was focus on practical benefits, business networking, real estate, exclusive events, dating, etc. We're doing all those in this space right now. Is it perfect? Nope. Is it making millions of dollars yet? Nope. But is it happening? Yep. And it took 7 years to get here. And I know it's going to take another 7 years to perfect it. And I think it's going to take another 7 years after that to really make it, worth everybody's while inside this platform. So we are in the very beginning. We're looking for people to go along the journey of adoption with this, with us. we're happy to go shoulder to shoulder with you and walk the same line that you're walking inside these spaces. Making onboarding easy with non-VR access, simple wallets, and step-by-step guidelines. That is really, I mean, if you really want to, hit the nail on the head, that's what I'm talking about today. But I need you as the interested party to actually take action and say, Robert, I'm ready. That's all you got to say. Post in the comments, just say, I'm ready. If you found value in this video and you said that I want to test this out, I want to check out, see what Robert's talking all about, just say you're ready in the comments. I may post this on LinkedIn. So do appreciate your time. One last thing here, and we're going to close it up. We're 30 seconds over, but I may close on this. Create social momentum with influencers, events, and real-world tie-ins. So I'm looking for people that are also in this industry that see the same value that I see, and I'm willing to partner with you. I'm willing to help you in your Metaverse application, really understand, maybe walk through it, see if there's any bugs in it. But I'm not about just one platform. I like to be agnostic with Metaverse platforms, and I'm here to bridge the Metaverse and connect all the worlds together, because I think every platform has something to offer. Not all the platforms are the same. Not all the platforms have the same values. Not all platforms are AAA game ready. Some platforms are just blotchy colors with robot avatars that are in circles. I mean, like, it's totally, but the thing is, am I going to leave that community out? No. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to take a step back and downgrade all the stuff that I've learned here to, build another community, because guess what? That just tells me that that's the level of where they're at in their mindset. And maybe this technology was way over their head, but now they have an expert that can bridge them over to this platform. So folks, with that being said, I really appreciate your time. I hope you found value in this. And if you did find value in it, please share this with 3 other people. And if you're interested in starting a Metaverse application for your business, if you're looking to, add a tab on your website to make it a walk-in website now, I'm here to help you. I'm here to share all the information that I have within reason to you to get you into this platform. So with that being said, you folks have a great day, and we hope to see you in the Metaverse world, because this is where I am. And if you want to meet me in world, by all means, just say I'm ready, and I will send you a link, and we'll see if you can get in space. Now, if you can't get in space, no harm, no foul with that, because we have other ways through using a virtual machine to get inside the space here. Because we know that it takes a high-end graphics card for most Metaverse applications. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how, instead of going out and spending all your money on a beefy, gaming PC or whatever, we're going to show you how you can just use the internet and log into a virtual machine to gain access. So with that being said, you folks have a great day. I'm DNA Elite. I hope you have a great day. So cheers, everyone, and hope to see you in world. Bye-bye now.